The ABCs of horror.
Welcome to the HellBound Horror Show. Tonight we're looking at a movie that is primarily known for two things. Number one, a sex scene that is so long and so vividly real that many rumors are around that the actors were actually having sex. And number two, possibly the scariest ending to any film. Necronomicon? Let's dive in to the letter D. (1973's) Don't Look Now. I had first heard about Don't Look Now through Bravo's Top 100 Scariest Movie Moments, which was a TV miniseries that documented the top 100 scariest movie moments in film. Anyway, Don't Look Now ranked as 22nd on their list. It did spoil the ending, but I remember being terrified of that imagery. It gave me nightmares. And I didn't care that the ending was spoiled. I needed to see that movie because I needed to know how it led to that moment. I bought Don't Look Now when I was a freshman in high school, and I remember being so excited to watch it that I immediately put it into the DVD player and pressed play. It didn't matter that it was a bright, sunny summer day. My dad came home from work and decided to sit down and watch it with me. I don't remember a ton of the movie, but I do remember an uncomfortably long sex scene. It was graphic and so realistic. It was embarrassing. I thought it was only going to last a moment, but then it kept going and going. Neither my father nor myself said a word or made eye contact. And the scene, of course, is shot so realistically that people to this day still believe the actors were, actually knocking boots. Teenage me hated that moment, and to this day, it is still my most uncomfortable memory of all time. I haven't seen the movie since then, but I was interested in giving it a rewatch. I mean, after all, it's been over 10 years since I've seen it. Don't Look Now starts off beautifully. Two kids are playing outside while John and his wife, Laura, sit inside. John is examining a slide of a church where a red hooded figure sits in a pew when suddenly he senses something is wrong. He races outside to find that his daughter, Christine, has submerged in the pond behind their house. He sinks in the water to pull her out, and the scene is heartbreaking. Try as he might, he can't bring his daughter back. The film then cuts to John and Laura in Venice. John is an architect and has been hired to do restorations on a church. While out to lunch, John and Laura notice as two older ladies stare at them. It's rather peculiar, but once Laura talks to them, she realizes that the blind old lady is actually a psychic. The psychic tells Laura that her daughter, Christine, is happy and is looking after them. Laura, as you might have guessed, takes it rather hard and needs time to collect herself. The next major scene that really happens is the sex scene, and yeah, it's just as bad as I remembered. Moving on. I said moving on. There are rumors and hints that murders are going down throughout Venice. It's never super direct, but you see hints throughout the movie. We also always see a red hooded figure running around the street of Venice. We are led to believe that John thinks this is his daughter. His daughter's dead though, right? Laura eventually sees the old women again and asks the psychic if she can talk to her daughter. They agree to meet later. Laura tries to get John to come with her. However, John doesn't believe in psychics and instead is quote unquote a rational man. When Laura meets up with the psychic again, she mentions how John sensed something was wrong the night that their daughter died. The psychic informs Laura that John has a gift and may in fact be a psychic as well. The psychic then goes into a trance. Meanwhile, John is at the local bar, but he senses something is wrong, so he races to the hotel where Laura and the old ladies are, but he can't find their room, so he returns back to the bar. Once Laura and John meet up again, John is completely plastered. Laura informs John that the psychic told her that John is in danger. John, of course, reacts to this as any normal or rational man would. He throws up in a toilet due to his drunkenness.
I am not going to be sick. I am going to be sick. I wouldn't go in there for a couple of minutes if I were you.
Laura goes on and on about how Christine is looking after them until John just snaps.
I really think we have to leave Venice. It was a warning. It was Christine. She was trying to warn us.
My daughter is dead, Laura. She does not come peeping with messages back from behind the grave. Christine is dead. She is dead. Dead, 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 dead.
The next day, Laura tries to get John to take a vacation and leave Venice as she's terrified for his safety. He doesn't really worry about this, but while at work, an accident happens which leads to him literally holding on for his life. This opens up his eyes, so he decides to just walk it off with the man who hired him. While walking, they see authorities pulling another body out of the water. Later that night, John and Laura get a phone call. Their little boy was injured while attending school in England, so Laura gets on the first flight in the morning. Right after she leaves, John is on a boat, but sees his wife and the two older women on a different boat traveling in the opposite direction. All three women are wearing black and on a boat that looks like a funeral boat. What? This, of course, worries John. After seeing the woman being pulled out of the water the other day, John begins to believe that the two old women could actually harm Laura. John goes to the police to have the women arrested. But Laura went to England. Did she not? How could she still be here in Venice? Where is Laura? And what is that red-hooded figure? Where's the psychic? And what's her plan? Is John actually in danger? Oh, and who's the murderer? I don't want to spoil too much, but the ending is worth it. It sounds like a tense ride, but honestly, it's not. It's a slow burn. This movie is just shy of 2 hours, and at times it really drags. Shots linger, and there's a ton of empty space. Not to mention the interesting editing style. Some scenes are just chopped to bits. It's unique and makes you aware of the sudden cuts. Some people say that Don't Look Now is a classic, and I agree. It's a good movie. But I don't think I could recommend it to the average moviegoer. It won't tickle everyone's fancy, and in fact, I'm torn myself. This movie has some brilliant moments, but other parts just don't do it for me. The best part by far is the ending, but is it worth sitting through the whole movie just to get to that? Maybe to some, but I could see others getting really bored. So, I usually don't do this, but I am going to spoil the ending. So if you don't want the movie spoiled, don't look now. Get it? It's a joke. I'm not going to spoil it.